Well, certainly I can understand what is going through your mind and what is going through in everybody's mind and what has been there at the commemoration, what was there. You heard the minister saying very clearly that 80 children had boarded the flight, but they never returned, and the Atlantic still stands witness to that evil act of terrorism. We all know that it's been 4 decades now, but the scars still remain. And you heard the minister saying that this commemoration is a message to all the terror networks and all the platforms of terrorism that it would never prevail over the humanity, over the democracies, and over the strong commitment of the nations that stand united. He also called Canada a very good friend. He also spoke about the shared cultural ties that both countries have. Now, when we talk about relations with Canada, let me also inform our viewers that the Royal Mounted Canadian Police have also identified the man who played a key role in this act of terror. In fact, he had tested a bomb 1 week ahead of this plane attack. But unfortunately, his identity has not been revealed so far, and the man has also died without facing any charges. But as you heard the minister saying that the whole world should stand united, and this commemoration should be a witness to all acts of terrorism, that the world stands united. And the very fact that you have a Sikh minister representing India on this in this commemoration after 4 decades is also a testimony to the united spirit of India about its human values, about its cultural values, and despite of its diversity, the national integrity is always there as far as India, the mother of democracy, is concerned. Siddharth?
Definitely. Vishal, one thing which I heard was when the Honorable Union Minister was saying that is that wherever in the entire world terrorism happens and the act of terror happens, what it takes is the basic fundamental right, which is the right to live. And this is something very shocking. This is something very sad. And he also said that terrorism is present day threat and we need to counter it. And for that, I think, Vishal, one thing, the key is to come together and fight against terrorism.
Well, absolutely. You heard the minister saying it very clearly that we all need to stand united, and it is not only the Pahalgam attack, but also the 26/11 and 9/11 that shook the world. And you heard the world now also repeating what India has always been saying, that terrorism knows no religion, terrorism has no face. It is only an act which is against humanity. It's a threat against humanity. And that's why the minister made it very clear that we need to stand united. We need to cut down all the financial channels that are helping these terror networks. We need to share the intel information, and also we need to act against all these terror networks. They should be nipped in the bud. And you also heard the minister quoting the figure in 2024, there were more than 8,300 victims of terrorism, and they are still counting. So definitely all the countries should stand united, and terrorism should be the target of all the countries, because it is not only India, but also all the countries, even those who have been harboring terrorism, especially Pakistan, because Pakistan is now claiming that it has been victim of terrorism. We all know how its former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto was brutally assassinated, and that was also an act of terror. But when it comes to Pahalgam, India has to repeat and also tell the world, send delegates across the world, explaining why India is more concerned about the state-sponsored terrorism by Pakistan, and why people who died in Pahalgam, they should be given their answer, and their families should be answered as to why they were killed, and who are these people, and who are the big bosses or the handlers who are sitting there across the international boundary that separates India and Pakistan. So India has been successful as far as the delegations were sent across the world in explaining why India had to take on to Operation Sindoor, which has not been called off. It is still on, and why Pakistan needs to be exposed, and all the terror networks in the name of religion that Pakistan has been harboring, and also supporting financially and also militarily.
Indeed, Vishal, Honorable Minister also said one thing, that apart from the fact that everyone has to come and stand united against terrorism, we need to be vigilant. And he also said that what happened in 1985, he was hinting at Kanishka bombing, that should never happen anywhere in the entire world. Vishal, I remember you did a brilliant reporting during Operation Sindoor. You were there for the longest time. Pakistan, in fact, tried to disrupt a communal harmony in the country, but it miserably failed. It miserably failed because the people of India stood united. The forces, like always, stood united and retaliated and gave a very nice and a strict answer to Pakistan. Isn't it, Vishal?
Well, absolutely. Pakistan also raised the issue that the Muslim community is being targeted during Operation Sindoor, and how they are being attacked after the Pahalgam attack took place. But Pakistan should also remember, it was reminded by a journalist that it is the lady colonel in the Indian Army that was very much part of the media briefing. And how can Pakistan allege that Muslim community is being targeted? So it is Pakistan who needs to get its house in order instead of accusing India. It needs to check its own intel network and check its own military, though it's a very difficult task for Pakistan, because Pakistan has always been governed by its military, and different political parties or leadership that have been there, they are mere banana republic. Pakistan has always been a very, very bad example of a democratic setup. But as far as India is concerned, India is the mother of democracy. India is a land of national integrity. India is a land where secularism rules. And India has always supported humanity and always been very vocal against terrorism. And this commemoration of the Kanishka bombing again reminds the world that it is not only the country which is affected, but also all the countries across the world that can be victim. And we have seen in the past how very powerful United States of America also became a victim of terrorism. And now America is also on the same page with India. So India has been time and again reminding the world that terrorism needs to be nipped in the bud, and terrorism is the greatest threat against humanity.
Indeed, and Vishal, when we see these visuals on screen, from Cork, it naturally makes you very, very emotional, because, you think that how it would have had happened 40 years back, a plane exploding. There were many people, and they were thinking when they were boarding, they were having smiles on their faces. They were thinking that, we'll go to our destination. Some of them had plans. Some of them had to meet their relatives, friends, family. And this dastardly act, a heinous act of terror ruined it all. Something which the world needs to counter, the terrorism. Honorable Minister, we just had a discussion, Vishal, that Honorable Minister also said that we need to fight, we need to unite, and that is the key. He also extended his support to the global community for this, Vishal, the Honorable Minister.
Well, absolutely, Siddharth, because things have changed a lot after 40 years, 1985, and we have seen how the terror networks have also advanced in the technologies, and how the cyber security is also another form of terrorism. That is why the minister made it very clear that we need to stand united. We need to cut short their financial support. We need to exchange all the intelligence that we gather. It's very unfortunate that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, though they had identified the man who had tested the bomb just a week before this attack took place, he has been identified, but they did not reveal his identity. And we all know now that the man is no more. He passed away without facing any charges. So such culprits should not go scot-free. They should be brought to justice. And justice delayed is justice denied. And I would still say that all the people who died in this bombing are still awaiting justice, and they could not, their families could not even attend their funerals because their bodies could not be recovered. They are there somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. But we all know that 40 years have gone by, but the act of terrorism continues across the world, and this commemoration of today is a message to the world that India wants to tell loudly that terrorism is the greatest threat against humanity, and the world needs to stand united. And terrorism can affect any country and can attack any country.
Indeed, Vishal, you said that right. I second you on this, that justice delayed is justice denied. But it's also one thing is positive, you know, when you see the positive side of it, is that countries are now uniting against terrorism. And as far as India is concerned, that India has shown the entire world during Operation Sindoor that if you will attack us, we will attack you. We will do it responsibly, but we will attack. And we are together in fight against terrorism. Thank you so much, Vishal. Well, although it's a very emotional moment, but we have to end it here. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.